Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to AUSF1 Racing League. As you can see on your screens currently, we are here at the Shanghai International Circuit for round 4 of AUSF1 action. I'm your commentator today, your solo commentator, Ashton, and it is going to be an absolute cracker here around China. Can't wait. Some extremely fast boys on the grid, as you can see on the right hand side of your screen. And we now phase into the qualifying session. 16 corners await these drivers, and I'll tell you what, there are some incredibly tricky corners on this track. Everyone will be going soft side, I imagine. But I will be right back as we await the first driver to exit out of the pit lane. But ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the first driver to set a lap time should be Lord Marvy, unless Viper overtakes him. Nah, I think people are joining late. I mean, you can probably ping someone in AUSF1 Tier 1 chat to see if you're able to join. Probably Cam or just one of the admins in general. But as you can see on your screens, Lord Marvy reserving in the Haas, ready to put on a Haas the class. As he now comes down the back straight, Viper not far behind him in that green, fluoro green kick Sauber. But Lord Marvy about to start his lap, rounding the penultimate corner of the hairpin. Now 14 and 15 there, ready to start on 16. Up to medium, and it is go for Marvy coming across the line. Now overtake on, sticking all the way to the left, I imagine, or to the right, sorry, to avoid some bumps. Coming through turn 1 to now into 3, I believe. Oh no, that's 2. This is 3. A very, very tricky sequence of corners to get right, and an even trickier traction zone coming through turn 3 and into turn 4. Now through the right-hand kink of turn 5, slamming on the brakes at what looks like the start of the curb for turn 6. We now progress towards turn 7, 8, 9 and 10. A very fast-flowing sequence that is incredibly hard in real life. A little bit easier in the game, however. Let's see what Lord Marvy is set through his Sector 2 time. It is a 51.756. It is now comes through the chicane, exits onto this right-hander, a very tricky traction zone. But look how much battery he is saved for this back straight. He's going to absolutely burn it all. He's going to get a nice slipstream from that Red Bull as well, of what I believe is Daniel Koo in his first race at AUSF1 from my knowledge, slamming on the brakes at around the 150 meter board. A nice apex there for Lord Marvy, and now coming towards the final corner, just a tiny 70% dab on the brakes, coming to the line now. What is the qualifying, or first qualifying time? It is a 31.9, sorry. What can Viper do? He can do a 32.1 to go into P2. That is, I believe, the Nell Crew starting. Let's see. That is an Aston Martin of Fraser Clegg. I'm trying to jump to him. starting his lap. It is now the Alpine of GLX Cam, the solitary Alpine in this race, coming to the end of the track. It is a 1:32.9, nearly a second off the provisional pole time. Lawrenceburg a 34.1. I'm assuming there was a mistake there. Jamie JW jumping up into P3. Reserving in the kicks out. We've seen Yusuf Syed join a little bit late, but he will jump in that second area, Alpine to partner GLX Cam Zen, and the team principal, I'm sure, will be quite happy to see that one. We see MJ Roller jump up into P4. I think people thought he was a bit of an early pick coming in at pick 3 by Bazza, but he is currently proving his worth in P4. Zox in P3 as well, but there's plenty of people to watch out for. You've got Fraser Clegg, who is now coming onto the back straight. You've got Danelle Koo. We'll see what his pace is like. He's getting a nice toe from that Haas of Lord Marvier. An incredibly nice toe as he now comes to the left. The yellow flags in sector 2. Hopefully that's not someone spinning, but Danelle Koo, a little front left lock up, cutting that curb a lot, managing to keep it valid though, and he now has the final corner to tackle. Not a lot of battery left, and it looks like Lord Marvy is out of fuel, but Danelle Koo goes into P3 at 32.301 is provisional P3 time. Somebody to watch is Campbell Adams. Keep an eye on him as he progresses around the track. In fact, we might just watch him unless Badgerman... Okay, both Mash Jr. and Badgerman are currently on a flying lap. And in fact, they're actually quite close to each other, separated by just a solitary McLaren of Zox in P5 on an in-lap. So we'll see what Mash Jr. can do. He's saved the incredible amount of battery by the looks of it, unless he's going for 2 back-to-back runs, but I don't really see point in that. He comes to the line. It's not a very good time. What can Badgerman do? Currently in P18, having not set a lap yet, he comes to the line. It is P3 for Badgerman Cam, but now the fastest driver in the region is about to set his lap time. He was top of the qualified drivers standings last time out, and he is now getting an absolutely huge toe off his teammate of Globe Drip. Incredible teamwork between the two. I'm sure Campbell would like Globe Drip a little bit further up, but he will still appreciate that toe nonetheless. Slamming on the brakes just after the start of that curb, a little bit of a flick steer into the hairpin to get the car rotated, and now a nice easy traction zone. Only the final corner to navigate now for Campbell Adams, and it's not a huge stab on the brakes. He comes to the line now. What's it going to be? It's going to be a low 31. It's a 31.131, and he goes to the top of the timing tables by 8 whole tenths of a second, and it looks like Globe Trip is starting his lap. Can Campbell Adams stay far enough ahead to repay the favour of the toe after his 8/10th provisional pole lap? We'll see what Daniel Starr can do coming around the final corner. P15 currently for him. He jumps up into P13 and 38.878. His teammate of KLX starting the final sector. Farmer Sam slightly ahead though. Yusuf Syed starting his hot lap, but Farmer Sam in the Aston Martin, currently in P17, he'll want to improve that qualifying position, donning the number 3 on British Racing Green Aston Martin. Now only the final corner ahead of him, as we see a little bit of a nice scam in chat. But as a 32.375, jumping up just behind his teammate of Fraser Clegg, so could be a little bit of a double stack opportunity as KLX has invalidated. Yusuf Syed is on a lap. Yeah, I believe he's the only driver not to have set a time on the lap. But I'll quickly sort out whatever that was in Twitch chat. But Yusuf in Sector 2, hopefully that kicks our ahead of him, gets out of his way nicely, and it looks like he is doing that. But, apologies for that little bit of dead air. Yusuf now coming onto the back straight. He's got 2 corners left to handle. As he comes into the final corner, swinging it through the final, or not the final corner, the penultimate corner, sorry, that Ferrari of, I believe, KLX will get out of his way nicely as he jumps across that curb effortlessly. what will the lap time be? It is a P2 of 31.946, beating out Lord Marvier by 0.06 of a second. That is a close qualifying battle to keep your eyes on, as we see a yellow flag in sector 1, 2, and 3. 8 minutes left in the qualifying session. We'll see a lot of drivers starting to finish their lap. That is a Haas of MJ Roller diving into pit lane behind Farmer Sam. Jamie JW starting a lap. It looks like Viper is well ahead of him on his what can... no, sorry, I think Viper is the furthest ahead. Yep. So, Viper furthest ahead yet, who is about to improve his lap time in that kick but currently resides in P4, will be looking to improve upon his time of 32.174. He is just over a second off pole, which is an absolute alien time of Campbell Adams, who is well over 8 tenths clear ahead of AUSF and Lord Marvier. So an absolute, as I said, pretty much unfathomable time from Campbell, and that's only provisional, remember that. But Viper coming through the final corner dives into the pit lane. So I'm interested in what happened there. But let's see, the two Red Bulls currently on a lap list. See Lorenzbro leading his teammate or reserve teammate of Danelle Koo, as Lorenzbro currently resides in P16, 34.164 for himself, 3 seconds off the provisional pole time. Lorenzbro will want to improve that. Coming to the line now, it's not an improvement, only a 34.8 for Lorenzbro. Danelle Koo behind starting his lap. Is that Mass Jr. finishing one? It is. No improvement for him, similar to Lorenzbro. It seems like he's not using his battery at all, unless he's going for 2 runs back to back. That is always an option for Project Prince, as he is called in the Discord. But we'll go with Sir Josh. His teammate of Zox is ahead of him, so he will of course set that first lap time. Actually, it looks like Lord is setting lap. Apologies, I was going to jump to Sir Josh because he is yet to set a lap time. But Lord Marvier coming across the line. Look how close he cuts that apex. An improvement coming, surely. It is a 1.5 tenth, over 1.5 tenth improvement for Lord Marvier. He jumps Yusuf's side as he goes up into second position. We'll now jump back down to Sir Joshi. His teammate is in 11th. So he jumps up to 5th. What can Sir Joshi do? He jumps up into P3 of 31.882 as we start to see some of these lap times creep just that a little bit lower. We see Fraser Clegg coming to the lap time now, coming to finish his lap now, a P3 for him. But Globdrip starting his lap. Let's have a little look at him and look at that train that is forming on the back straight. Is there anything in that whatsoever? Don't think so. Jamie JW though, he'll be having to deal with this train as he forms his lap. I'll invite Checkered. Assuming I've got him added. Unless I'm missing him, I do not have him added. Won't be on platform friends, he's on PC. Yeah, I don't have Checked added on this account, sorry Mercy. But Jamie JW jumps up into P13. Probably expected a little bit more with a 2.5 tenth improvement, but looks like he's jumped from P13 to P13. Even after a 2.5 tenth improvement, maybe Globdrip is slightly in. No, so he's improved by 2.5 tenths, but he hasn't moved from position 13. Let's see what MJ Roller is doing. 2.5 tenths improvement will move him up, so I'm sure he'll be looking to keep that that improvement as he misses that apex a little. Really not ideal for MJ Roller, and look how squirmy he's getting on the throttle. He really is overdriving this car a little bit now, but coming out of the final corner, it is a 5 tenth improvement up into P5 I really just kind of ate my words there. 5/10 improvement for MJ, jumping into the 31.9s. That puts Yusuf actually the lowest 30 or the lowest 31 time on the leaderboard is all the way down in P7. I feel like that says quite a bit about the standards of this grid of 32.3 for KLX. Puts him up into P12. Jamie JW on an in-lap. Is Yusuf on an in-lap? No, he's not. He's barely down on his time. He's looking to get his final run out of the way nice and early so he doesn't have to deal with that dirty air. Barely down by about 10 milliseconds on his Sector 2 time. So we'll see what Yusuf can do. Coming onto the back straight now, Checkered will be lucky to get a lap time in as he fills out the 20th slot on this grid. But Yusuf using overtake, DRS open. Can he find some time in these final two corners? Will he just dive into the pit lane because he's got under a lap left of fuel? Is this enough for Yusuf to stay out and finish the lap? Let's have a look. It is. No, he decides to go back into the pit lane. He heavily considered staying out, but decided at the last minute that it was better to come into the pit lane. Campbell, Adam on an outlap, Viper on an outlap, and KLX on an in-lap. So KLX is going to be running tight to get into the lobby. So it looks like Lord Marvia hasn't retired in the pit lane. He has retired Lewis Hamilton 2007 style in the... Wow, look at this train coming out of the pit lane with 2 minutes left to go. Probably not an awful idea to get ahead of the train here. We've got Checkered Flag in the Williams, who will get a lap in, hopefully, but he will need to space out with the dirty air. Viper on a lap. He'll be the first one to set his final qualifying time of the session. Let's see what Viper can do. A little bit of a dab of throttle where turn 1 merges into 2 now, kissing that apex on turn 3. Careful instruction here as he goes through turn 4. He's got that down pretty nicely though, using overtake on the run down through turn 5. Now slamming on the brakes for turn 6. It is a nearly a 10th improvement, just under a 10th improvement for Viper. That would not put him up a place at the moment, but he is looking to build on that through the lap. Could come across some traffic here though as he comes towards the end of this SS section. Looks like a little bit of hesitation on throttle there for Viper. Could have been a bit of a loss of time. We'll see what he can do. Coming down, it's a pretty much doing the same improvement he did in Sector 1. Can he hold it through Sector 3? However, he could get a nice tow here if these cars are trying to space themselves out. Look at Viper's screen as he can see all the cars in front of him. No tow for him, however. Everyone are getting a move along nicely. Viper slamming on the brakes for the hairpin now, looking to get out every piece of time he can. That Red Bull barely getting out of the way. That's Williams barely getting out of the way. But that Williams impedes him. Was that Mash Jr. or was that Shady Jarvis is the question. And that is unfortunately the end of Viper's qualifying session, and it looks like it was Checkered Flag. So Checkered Flag could have a penalty coming his way as he starts his lap. But let's see what someone else can do. Campbell Adams is finding even more time. Do we see a 30 from Campbell Adams? Can he break that barrier? We're about to find out. He comes through the hairpin now, looking to eke out every bit of time. No cars to impede him, like what happened to Viper. However, he comes to the line now. It is a 131.084. Lost a little bit of that in the time in the final sector, but he breaks into the 31 zeros. Can anyone find that massive amount of time and improve him? Zox will be the next driver to set a lap time just under the delta on on the exit of Sector 2. Can he find, or has he found any time through Sector 3? Let's see what Zox can do. It is a 32-2, no improvement for him. That is now a V-carb coming across the line. Is that Daniel Avocado? Yes, it is. His qualifying session is over now. His teammate of Badgeman Cam finds a small improvement up into P7. Let's see, what can Farmer Sam do? He's coming to the line now. Sir Joshua went up into P4. Not sure if there was an improvement there or not, but Farmer Sam coming to the line. No battery left. A 3/10 improvement. That puts him up into P9. What can Jamie JW do? He finds 2.5 tenths once again. No improvement of position for him, as we see Viper retiring. Checkered flag up into position 10. And that looks like everyone has finished their laps except for Fraser Clegg. Can he do anything? He jumps up into P2 ahead of Lord Marvia. But Campbell Adams claims pole by over 6 tenths. And yeah, nearly 6.5 tenths. Fraser Clegg in P2, Lord Marvia P3, Sir Joshua P4, MJ Roller in the Haas P5, punching well above his weight. Yusuf Goat in the Alpine, Yusuf Syed P6, Badgeman Cam P7, Danelle Koo P8 in that Red Bull, Farmer Sam 33 P9, Shady Jarvis Checkered Flag P10, Viper P11, unlucky to get impeded on his final run there. Zox P11, Zox P12, Cam P13, KLX P14, Jamie P15, Rhino P16, Globtrip 17, Lawrence Bro 18, Daniel Star 19, and Mash Jr. 20th and last. Anything to note here? No, there is not. And look at that. Is that rain? No, I don't think so. No, that doesn't... Or it could be rain. It's not. It is still dry for the time being. It'll be interesting to see what the probability of rain is on the Racing League tools. But, drivers will have to make that choice. If it comes halfway through the race, do you go mediums or do you go hards? Or do you even go softs if it's forcing you to start and it's about to rain? Forcing you to start dries and it's about to rain. All these are... all these possibilities, but it is 3, 4, 5 lights. And it is a pedal to the floor. Go. Campbell Adams getting a better start than Fraser Clegg. Lord Marvia falling down into P4 side by side with Sir Joshua through the first corner. No rain just yet. Let's see. Is there any chance of rain this race? It's not loaded just yet. But Yusuf Syed trying to get down the inside. And that is a spinning hazard. MJ Roller. He had such a strong qualifying. And already spinning on the first lap is really no ideal. Down into P20 for the Haas driver, his teammate up into P3. But Campbell Adams still leads from Fraser Clegg from Sir Joshua, as Sir Joshua and Lord Marvis still go side by side through the second sector. This battling could cost him DRS, so they have to be careful as Lord makes it, hangs it around the outside, now has the inside and gets the move done, but he now has a large task to catch back up. Fraser Clegg also nearly a second out, or already a second out. No rain this race, Cat, unfortunately. But Yusuf P3, Lord Marvia P4, and he had a big snap of oversteer there, or it was contact. And now Sir Joshi or Farmer Sam could have a run on him down this back straight. Lap 1 full of chaos and action here, as we see that Williams taking quite the interesting line. IRT Mash Jr., I believe, given the other Williams is Shady Jarvis all the way down the back. But we see Sir Joshy forced onto the inside. He's getting the better traction on the racing line though. He'll now have the inside for this final corner, but he doesn't need it. Pulls ahead of Farmer Sam already. But look at that gap Campbell Adams is building. Up 1.8, 1.7 seconds. Yusuf trails Fraser Clegg, still within DRS for the time being. Fraser will be pushing hard to get him out. Let's have a look at tyres. Everyone on mediums except Badgerman, MJ Roller and Danelle Koo on the hard compound of tyres. But Fraser Clegg already 2 seconds behind as Campbell Adams is just running away with this race. 1.8 seconds faster on that first lap. Fraser Clegg though now has Yusuf Syed for company. Lord Marvey not far behind as well. These two Aston Martin boys have the opportunity to work together. And what has happened to Viper? Why is he down into P19? He started quite... He was in the midfield, I believe. Let's have a look at the position changes. We can see the bottom five... Yeah, bottom five, they're all down. So Joshy hasn't had a great start, but look who has. Farmer Sam, someone else to note. Mash Jr. up 7 positions. Glob Drip up 6. But we'll go back to the tyres now. As we see, can we jump up to Yusuf in time? He'll have a run on it. Fraser Clegg, he takes position to Lord Marvia, could follow him through under the braking onto the inside right hand side of Fraser Clegg. He gets the move done now onto the grippier racing line using that superior traction, and Fraser Clegg has just lost 2 positions in one straight. Campbell Adams fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 35.295. As we can once again see, just 3 drivers on the hard. Campbell Adams, Dretman and Chat will be loving this. 3 seconds ahead of the field. Glob Drip down in P11. I think Mozzle wanted me to focus on him because he could be lagging. Haven't seen any of that yet, as he could be the one to break the link of this DRS train. Jamie JW has had a solid start up into position 10, and look at Glob Drip just falling out. Look at that delta there. That's something to keep an eye on throughout the lap. Badgerman Cam also looking quite good on the hard, keeping up with the medium runners. Could be a good sign for when he switches over to the yellow walled compound. But Glob Drip will be pushing hard to stay within a second of the Kick Sauber ahead of him. He'll be, well, how else can you put it? He's under a lot of pressure from Daniel Avocado, Ryan Noon behind, but he is now just fallen outside of a second, and that train is snapped in half. The top second through 10th now in a DRS train, and 11th through about 18th also in one. But something to note, Shady Jarvis has front wing damage. I don't think anyone else who does is sharing. But do we see any moves? No, Glob Drip still holds the lead. I think I saw something in the midfield. It could have been Zox getting ahead of Daniel Starr. But Lord Marvy is still trailing in P3 behind Yusuf as they run all the way to the right-hand side. I'm guessing that is to avoid bumps. Must gain you quite a bit of time, unless it's them breaking the toe, but it doesn't seem like it. They're now going through the snail complex of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Very hard to follow through here with dirty air. You really need a lot of practice through here if you want to be competitive in that dirty air. Shady Jarvis gets Glorensbro into the first corner, through the second corner. I'm sure that would have been quite a nice overtake to watch, as Glorensbro is falling quite rapidly and he's in the gravel. Has to be careful he doesn't take out his teammate on the rejoin. His teammate shooting down the left-hand side, and Lawrencebury now finds himself in position number 20. Whether that's contact or whether that was on his own, I'm sure we'll find out in incident reports. But look at that lead Campbell Adams has. You can't even see anyone else. He is just that rapid, and he said himself he did not have much practice for this track, so just imagine if he gets some practice in. Lord Marvier in P3 really needs to get a move on if Yusuf, if he wants to get past Yusuf. Or, well, not really, it's lap 4, but he just isn't close enough, and as I say that, he shoots down the left hand side of the track to pass Yusuf Goat. Lord Marvier back up into position 2, slamming on the brakes, coming through the right hander is Frey. Oh, Yusuf, what's happened? He's gone well deep, and he is now waiting for an opportunity to safely rejoin. He finds himself all the way down in P10, and what's happened? He's fallen all the way down into P14. But, yeah, that's just interesting. In the meantime, Glob Drip has been passed by Daniel Avocado. Rhino up into position 10. Glob Drip P11. And I think he could fall to... Oh, no, I think he's... Probably should watch a bit more before saying this stuff, but he is, I think, similar pace to Glob Drip and Daniel Avocado. They're similar pace. I think they could stay together quite well. But what else can we watch out for before this long back straight? Not much, I don't think. Lord Marvia will now be about to get double overtaken. Possibly, oh no. Farmer Sam a bit too far back, but he's about to be overtaken by Fraser Clegg, and just look how much he is using overtake. Lord Marviot stands no chance. As I said though, Farmer Sam not close enough to overtake as these boys will start to get stuck into a DRS train, and I think tyre preservation will become the aim of the game as we see Mash Jr. and or that is checkered out of the race. What has happened there? Looks like he pit and quit and got disconnected at the same time as Viper goes a bit deep into pit lane. He's coming in. AUSF also pits. And we see Viper pit and quit. So 3 drivers pit and quitting pretty much at once. That is quite interesting. But, yeah, I mean, we're now just left to watch this battle for position 2, as I really don't see Campbell Adams losing this lead. But for now, well, that's a lot of but Fraser Clegg holding P2, he'll be overtaken by Lord Marvia again, I assume. Lord wanting to get out of that Aston Martin sandwich before any other games start to happen. Entering the pit stop window. Unfortunately for the Aston Martins, they will have the possibility of double stacking, as Cam has lost DRS to the cars ahead. He is now getting overtaken by Kalex. So Kalex a sneaky pick 20. But yeah, currently running in P7 as these two, I'm assuming, will use DRS to try to link back up with that front group if they DRS swap. But the issue is they just have so much DRS themselves. I mean, Kalex, if he's got the pace, he can probably do it given the clean air ahead, but it's going to take a miracle as Glob Drip comes in split lane nice and early. Yusuf Side leaves the session. He is DNF'd. But not much really to discuss coming through this middle sector. It's all about setting up your run onto the back straight, as KLX has done a massive shift to get back within DRS's. Cam is really starting to struggle on only 6-lap-old mediums, as we see Zox down in P14 struggling, grass on his tyres, and that really just means a disaster. Why did I say TV pod for a second? That was weird. But Zox currently in P14. Daniel Starr, the last point scorer so far in this race. But Yeah, just look at this insurmountable lead Campbell Adams is building. 7 seconds, and realistically, he won't lose this race unless there is a late safety car, and even then it's going to be incredibly hard. He's nearly a full straight ahead of everyone else, and I think he is actually. But Lord Marvier and Fraser Clegg are now the two to watch as they lead the battle for position 2. And just want to commend KLX on the absolute shift to get back into DRS. He easily could have just resigned. Sorry, he easily just could have resigned right there and given up, but he continues on nonetheless. But Viper leaves the session. The kick Sauber driver has DNF'd, and is that a big snap oversteer for Fraser Clegg? He could lose DRS here to Lord Marvier if he isn't careful. He's got a lot of battery to use in the tank, but Daniel Avocado, in the meantime, getting 3 seconds of warnings. Not sure where he's going. That is not particularly easy to get warnings around China. But Fraser Clegg now out of DRS, and do we see Farmer Sam burn and try to catch up? He is burning. Fraser Clegg isn't, but I just think Fraser's wings are that much higher. That or Lord Marvier did not burn on that straight, as Fraser is now back up in DRS. But it looks like Fraser just has some ridiculously low wings. But we continue on. Campbell Adams 8 seconds down into P2. Lord Marvier, Fraser Clegg, Farmer Sam P4, Sir Joshua P5. There's been a story of 3 races so far, if you're just tuning in and KLX has dropped out of DRS again. It is this top battle. The top 10 have really pulled away. Sorry, just heard something a little bit concerning. But, Campbell pulling away 8 seconds. He has been in a race of his own. Then the second race, P2, all the way down to the back of this train, GLX Cam in position 9 as he navigates his way through sector 2. Then another fairways back, you've got MJ Roller, who unfortunately spun on lap 1, Daniel Avocado, Mash Jr., Danelle, Zox, Daniel Lorenzbro, and a Globdrip, who is the only driver to have pitted so far and come out the exit still in control of his car. But just as I said, just look at that gap. We only see Lord Marvier come onto the back straight now as Campbell Adams is nearly about to break his incredibly rapid, I believe he is in PSGL F3, which really is just a testament to his raw speed. But and he's really showing that here. Fraser Clegg P2, Lord Marvier P3, Farmer Sam P4, and I think I just saw a snapper oversteer there, or a little bit of early traction from Lord Marvier as we see Farmer Sam get a warning. Probably one of the only spots you can get a warning on the track, but he is now trying to pass Lord Marvier. Lord Marvier won't want that to happen. He can't let the two Aston Martins link up, but he has gone deep. Farmer Sam taking his opportunity down the inside of turn 2. Will try to hang it around the outside of turn 3, but he's got the move done beforehand. He now links up with Fraser Clegg, and the issue is the double sec now for these Aston Martins, but they are in control of this train. Fraser Clegg and Farmer Sam, I imagine, will just be DRS, I think, for quite a bit to give each other a chance in the clean air. And funnily enough, they are in a Discord chat together, so I'm sure that they will be having some excellent teamwork between the two with that level of communication they have. But for now, it is Campbell Adams still in position 1, no shocks there. Let's have a look at another battle elsewhere. A little bit of a battle between Jamie and that Delta, as he needs to get up into within 1 second, as those hards will start to become quite kind compared to the mediums. But for now, as I said, Jamie out of DRS, KLX will just pass him with ease on the straight. Fraser Clegg and Farmer Sam in the Aston Martins not battling as things stand, and these three in this little train need to get a bit of a shift going on if they want to catch back up, as we see Cam struggling at the back of the train. He could even lose DRS to Jamie if he isn't careful, and needs to put in a couple hard yards. All of these boys don't really have a particularly high amount of battery. In fact, look at Ward Marvey, he's got near to none, except Fraser Clegg, who has an impeccable amount. Quite impressive from him, if I don't say so myself, being able to save that much battery in these type of scenarios. But these medium runners are going to box in the next couple laps. Their tyres are becoming harder and harder to operate, as Badgerman Cam will become faster and faster. He will be pitting around lap 18, I imagine, but it wouldn't shock me to see medium runners come in as early as this lap. Something for Campbell Adams to consider. Where does he come out? There's probably a big gap that he can easily surmount between that McLaren of Zox and that Haas of MJ Roller. That is about what appears to be a 12-second gap he could squat into. Just two cars there, Mash Jr. and Danelle Crew. One on mediums, one on hards that he would be forced to overtake. Mainly Danelle, because he won't be pitting for a couple laps. But this is all assuming he comes into the pit lane this lap. In fact, let's have a look at the leader gap for a second. And I think he'll come out between the Williams and the McLaren there. But let's see what Campbell does. And speak of the devil, he comes into the pit lane as we see Sir Joshy battling with Lord Marvier. If either of them want to go into the pit lane this lap, it could become quite hard, as it looks like Sir Joshy might have been forced to stay out an extra lap. Not ideal for him. He may have wanted to come into the pit lane with everyone else, but he'll be trailing Badgerman Cam, who will be faster on those hard compound tyres. Fraser Clegg resumes the lead of the race, and a safety car now will spice things up, but pretty spot on. Campbell comes out just ahead of that Red Bull. Quite important for his race, actually. He wouldn't, not that he's in threat of losing, he just wouldn't want to get stuck behind that Red Bull. But as I said before, Fraser leads the race, followed by Badgerman, followed by Sir Joshy, followed by Jamie, Cam, MJ Roller, and KLX. All three of these drivers need to pit. MJ Roller and Badgerman Cam will be staying out a little bit longer, given their current position on the hard compounded tyres. But I think we're going to see most of the remaining drivers dart into the pit lane this lap, as we see Sir Joshy have a big snap thanks to those rear tyres really starting to wear out. Currently in P3, has lost 2.5 seconds to Badgerman Cam this lap. He definitely would have wanted to pit last lap, and I think he'll lose a lot of time to the boys he was fighting with. But he will continue on. It doesn't look like Fraser Clegg has lost that much time to Badgerman Cam behind in that Aston Martin versus V-Car battle that is currently taking place. But I'm assuming we see Fraser come into the pit lane at the end of this lap, follow his peers of Farmer Sam, of Ward Marvier, into the pit lane, and that is what we do see. Badgerman Cam will stay out. We'll see Sir Joshy come into the pit lane, given the amount of time he has lost. We'll see Jamie come into the pit lane. We'll see MJ Roller stay out. Cam comes into bits, KLX comes into bits, and we're now back with our non-pitters of Campbell Adams, who will resume in a provisional the provisional lead, as KLX gets 10 seconds. That's not ideal for him. That will probably plummet him down the order a little bit more than he would have wanted. Something to watch here. Where does Sir Joshy come out compared to Lord Marvey? It is a fair way back. Not what Sir Joshy needed, and in fact, it's behind the kick sour, but that was a little bit of a lag spike by one of the two. But Sir Joshy has lost nearly 2.5 seconds by being forced out for that extra lap, as we now see the entire field on hards of varying ages, 0 laps to 12 laps being that range. But we now see Campbell Adams provisional leader of the race, Farmer Sam and Fraser Clegg having swapped positions. Fraser will be tasked with catching back up to Farmer Sam in P5, Marvier P7 behind Fraser Clegg directly. Globdrip P8. It'll be interesting to see if he can nurse those tyres home to the end. I'm going to put in my bet now and say no. I think he'll be making a 2-stop this race. Jamie in P9, Sir Joshy P10, Cam P11, KLX P12 with that 10 second. Daniel Avocado has caught up a bit with the undercut. He has a 3-second, however. So I'm assuming we'll see Lord Marvier and Fraser Clegg swap positions. I assumed wrong. I think Fraser Clegg has some absurdly high wings. We'll see Campbell Adams come up to the back of MJ Roller soon, as he nearly sets a 34 in the race. Keep in mind, a 34 was some people's qualifying time, and Campbell Adams is doing that on hard in a race. But Campbell catching MJ Roller at the wrong time. He'll be in his dirty F throughout the most of Sector 2, and just look how much he is gaining on MJ Roller. We'll see how quickly he can dispatch of this Haas-shaped obstacle. Zox gets 3 seconds, but what looks like coming out of the final corner as he comes into turn 1 now. But Campbell Adams making the overtake through the middle sector, through turn 7, 8, now through 9, and just look how much he is already pulling away from the Haas driver of MJ Roller. I'm quickly just going to do some RLT things. I'll be back in 15 seconds. Alrighty, we now resume with the action just before we take on the back straight, and it looks like Farmer Sam is coming up to Donnell Crew. That should be an easy overtake. Donnell not fighting it too hard. He knows Farmer Sam is not the person he is battling, and he just continues on with his race. Probably got a little bit used to the clean air as Badgerman Cam comes to the pit lane. It'll be 13 laps home on the medium compound air tyres for him. It'll be a bit of a stretch, but I'm sure with the lower fuel he can do it, as that is a yellow flag, sector 3. That looks like a globe drip spin as he reverses onto the track a bit maniacally. And nearly takes out Mash Jr. in the process, as it's not letting me change camera angle. Now it is, and he runs into the pit wall. Keeps both his wheels intact though. And I think we're going to see a pit and quit. Yep, pit and quit for globe drip. But we now resume in the middle of Sector 2. Lord Marvier and Donnell Crew. Donnell not racing Lord here. That's a bit of contact. Lord overestimating Donnell's speed, as he now decides that is the time to get him put a car between Lord and Fraser Clegg, but Fraser getting him nice and quickly down into the chicane, as Donnell starting to fall like a little bit of a rock in that Red Bull. We see Farmer Sam currently in provisional P3 of P2. Sorry, MJ Roller needs to pit. He got a nice little jump on Lord Marvier. Buzzer, to answer your question, use of pit and quit, because I think he had a wheel issue. That's why he fell so far. Checkered, who was Shady Jarvis, didn't pit and quit. He got disconnected and it retired him on track. Viper pit and quit because he got damaged from Checkered's disconnected car, and he was in like P19 with half a front wing missing. He wasn't going to score any points, and then Globe Drip has just done it into the pit wall. He pit and quit because he just wasn't going to do anything. Donnell Crew has had enough of falling down the order. He's boxing onto the mediums. He will take those home to the end of lap 28, as he will now be quite a bit more pacey. He'll come out in clean air as well. No one around him, unfortunately. And it is not looking like a great night out for the Red Bull outfits, led by Seb K21, Oscar King's brother. This rate, he might need to convince Oscar King to join his team. But we see a 6 second, or not 6 second, yeah, it's a 6 second lead to P2 for Campbell Adams. There's a 12 second lead to provisional P2 of Farmer Sam. Glob pit and quit Mozza because I think he was like P14 he came into pit because he pitted early because I think he got damaged and he wasn't going to make the one stop work, so he came in for the two stop. But then he did a 2007 Hamilton, hit the pit wall, no Mozza, he wasn't lagging. Not from my knowledge, it's MJ Roller comes into pit lane. He'll fit on the medium compound of tyres and head to the end of the race. 11 laps for him on those mediums. To see yellow, that looks like GLX Cam having a couple of issues as he falls behind Daniel Avocado. As he promptly gets him back. He is not sitting behind that V-carb if he can help himself to it. But Farmer Sam, as I said, now 12.5 seconds behind Campbell Adams. Campbell could come into the pit lane, put it on a set of softs and still win this race. But yeah, what can you do? Everyone has become a bit spaced out after the pit stops now, except for what looks like Badgerman Cam and Jamie JW. Can Badgerman hold that straight line speed and rocket past Jamie? Or can Jamie hold the P6? But he's now very close as I talked to Viper about what happened in his race, given I'm the CR team principal. Badgerman continues on as Lord Marvey overtakes Fraser Clegg in what could have been a nice move, but Badgerman forced to stick behind Jamie once again. Jamie will fight tooth and nail, I'd imagine, to hold on to position 6. Sir Josh will also want to hold on to position 5, so we'll see what Campbell's got a 13.7 second lead. He can probably pit him to still win this race, as I've said. We'll see if Badgerman can get past Jamie on this next straight. Yeah, I mean, we just have to continue watching this battle, I'm assuming. I'll probably switch up the camera angles and look at that nice camera angle. That little empty grandstand, which is empty for who knows what reason. You could probably sell an extra 50, like, well over 50,000 people's worth of tickets in that stand. But we continue on. We'll judge the trees in the name of Mozza, but doesn't look like there are any. Badgerman Cam continuing on his assault of Jamie, just not close enough yet, as we see MJ roller past Daniel Avocado. MJ obviously on those younger, softer medium compound of tyres, so he'll have quite a bit more pace than Daniel Avocado. But something to note as we go through the middle sector. After this week, we've got a break league for these Tier 1 drivers, and then we've got a sprint race at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, so make sure to tune in for that in 2 weeks' time. But we finally come to the end of this middle sector. We'll see if there's any action this time around as Sergio is caught up to Lord Marvia, and it's pretty much a 2-3 guaranteed for these Aston Martin drivers. As Badgeman, clicking the note, getting quite close to Jamie as this race starts to dip away from us, so a little bit less action. Hopefully it turns into a slow burner. But Sir Joshie getting very, very close to Lord Marvia through turn number 1. But yeah, we now just have to continue through this little area of the track where not much passing can be done. You've got those 2 extremely long straights where you can get a lot of overtaking, but what else can you do really, rather than just try to stick close to the car ahead? I'll try to get more off-board camera shots, but sometimes the off-board cams can be a bit atrocious. But yeah, so I'm sorry for the dead air. Lord Marvia comes into pit lane for whatever reason. Does he have damage? Oh, I guess it's 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. And he pits and quits. As Cam has retired from the session, and that is a crash, but no safety car. But we're now left with 14 drivers in this race, but I'm not sure what happened to Cameron. But yeah, I mean, we will continue on. It is green flags all the way. But yeah, we kind of just have to continue to watch. It's become quite, don't want to say dull, because there's obviously these close battles, but it's not like Shanghai is the best track for racing in the world, just with that dirty air in the middle sector. Of course, it's ridiculously, what happened, Cam? I was going to say, it's just fun to drive, but it's just a dirty air simulator for here, and you can't really get close and or overtake. But yeah, I mean, we just have to continue on pushing through this race. Badgerman and Cam will be lining up. Here's sight on Sir Joshy in that McLaren, currently holding P4. Batman will get past him on this straight with the use of DRS, pulling to the right hand side to the inside line, looking to get the move done before the braking zone, and he does, pulling back to the racing line, now hitting that apex and continuing on. MJ Roller getting past KLX. KLX having a 10-second penalty to his name, so not much he can do. He'll hold P8 by the looks of it, unless he has a major mistake and loses quite a lot of time. But yeah, we kind of have to continue on as Sir Josh is struggling to keep up with Badgerman Cam on those mediums, and I think it'll become a two-horse race for P5 between Sir Joshy and Jamie JW 21. But we now have, I believe, just over 5 laps left in this race. 5.5, if you want to include this back straight, which probably does make up most of the track. We shall continue on. Sir Joshy probably will lose DRS to Badgerman Cam this lap as Jamie goes what looks like a little bit deep. What happened? Verk saying in chat, one word, spastics. Got stopped by auto mod, but we will let it slide. Yeah, Buzzer, I mean, sometimes you just can't be asked. It's not like China's a fun track to drive anyway. Sometimes you just want to drive into the pit lane and be kind of finished. But yeah, 18-second lead is crazy. Campbell Adams must be having the time of his life. He's just doing 28 laps of time trial, earning himself 30 points, and then just grinding F1 more. I mean, Fraser Clegg has caught up to Farmer Sam, which is something to note. Or whether I think it might have been the other way around, but Fraser and Farmer Sam now within 5/10 of each other. We could see some racing between the two. But, I mean, I just find it amazing how Campbell has managed to gain 20 seconds in 28 laps. That's nearly, or 25 laps. 19 seconds in 25 laps. That's nearly a second a lap. But, yeah, I mean, it's hopefully going to be a slow burner between these two. Aston Martin, Farmer Sam, obviously not too far back from Fraser Clegg. These two British Racing green wrapped cars will go to battle shortly, I'd imagine. But Sir Joshy surely will be out of DRS this lap of Badgerman Cam, unless he has an amazing middle sector. But he will be under attack from Jamie JW in that kick Sauber. If he does happen to fall out of DRS, which it looks like he is doing, Badgerman Cam's mediums will be starting to hurt quite a bit. I'll figure out what his worst tyre is. It's 54. He's got 3 tyres at 54 and 1 at 47. So, I mean, he's nursing it quite well, but yeah, I mean, Zilla throwing out that he should be forced to do a 2-stop every race. I mean, when I think there's a couple of drivers out today. You've got Yusuf who couldn't quit, Chekansari who disconnected, Ryan Cox who's just missing the race, Warden Marvier is probably still a bit far off. but there's potential for a lot of time here as Jamie is now honing in Sir Joshi, given that he is Sir Joshi's out of DRS. But yeah, hopefully once the likes of Ryan Cox are back, we're feeling better. But even then, if we get drivers like Gregory Criswell, Oscar Kings, Riley McKays, like on the off chance that we do, it'll become a much more competitive race. And you can't really just be going out each race saying, Campbell, you have to two-stop, Campbell, you have to two-stop. But only if he takes pole by more than 5 tenths. No, because then he would just sandbag and poly. But yeah, I mean, there's just not much you can do when drivers are on another level. This is the top tier for a reason, and Campbell is out here showing why he is a top tier driver. He's about to lap Daniel Sy in a completely green flagged race, so it really is just a testimony to how much raw pace and power Campbell has, and it has been an absolute clinic by him today. He's 8 tenths a lap faster than everyone else. He got pole by 8 tenths in quali, something like that. He's 8 tenths a lap faster, and I doubt he's even fully pushing. He's probably just trying to get it home without binning the car at this rate. Like, Campbell is just almost the perfect driver, like not even glaze. But I mean, we will just continue on with this little midfield battle. I've been stuck on Jamie's static POV for about a couple laps. We'll jump off board. I'm sure Farmer Sam and Fraser Clegg's battle will heat up as we are now on the penultimate lap of this race. So I'm sure things will start to heat up. And Jamie won't go for a move now. He'll be focusing on charging up battery so he can go for a move on the final lap. What can Farmer Sam do battery-wise? It looks like Finn's Fraser Clegg has covered as we see Daniel Avocado and Mash Jr. swap places. Looks like that was a major mistake from Daniel, because Daniel Avocado was previously 7 tenths ahead of Mash Jr. not too long ago. So that's interesting what happened to that B-carb there. Not much of a battle though, just because Daniel Avocado has that penalty. We'll have a look at penalties. 10-3-3. Zox has had a sinker of a race. I'm 95% sure that is Zox, but China is not his forte. But penultimate lap now. Campbell Adams is about to start the final lap, and we'll have to give him a bit of airtime. It has been a absolute clinic by Campbell. He's going to win this race by a pit stop. It is absolutely insane what this Mercedes driver can do. Picked up with pick 2 in an incredibly stacked draft class. He is proving why he is just so renowned around the region. His raw pace is unmatchable, and that has been shown today. 20 seconds ahead of Fraser Clegg in P2 in a green flag race. Same strategy. Campbell Adams is like 6, 7, 8 tenths a lap quicker than everyone else behind, and I can almost assure you he must not be fully pushing. It has been an absolute clinic by Campbell Adams today. There is no doubt in the world that he there's absolute no doubt in anyone's mind that he is not the deserved race winner today. He rounds onto the final straight. 2 corners await him. Farmer Sam has dropped out of DRS of Fraser Clegg, so we'll jump back to Jamie and Sir Joshi for that little final lap battle, but everyone else out of DRS range. But Campbell Adams, 1 corner to go, rounding out an absolutely dominant performance today, coming across the line, rightfully leading. It is Campbell Adams who takes round 4 at China. And as I said, once again, a absolute clinic. It looks like Jamie must have had a massive mistake coming onto the final corner. Fraser Clegg will finish P2. Farmer Sam will finish P3. And Badgeman Cam will finish in position 4. We've got Sir Joshy in P5. Jamie P6. MJ Roller P7. And we'll now jump back to KLX, who will be tight to see if he holds on to P8. We'll watch with Donnell. He's just barely inside of KLX's 10-second range. Donnell in his AUSF1 debut will finish P9 by 0.007 seconds. Mash Jr. will finish P10. Zox will finish P11. Daniel Avocado will finish P12. Lorenzbro P13. And Daniel Starr in position 14. But, what else can you say? An absolute dominant drive, without a shadow of a doubt, by Campbell. Probably the most consistent driver, the fastest driver, and you just cannot beat that combination. You can't come close to it. 20 seconds, and realistically, Campbell Adams is my driver of the day. But the games driver of the day, Jamie JW. I won't complain with that. But those are your results today. A lot of DNFs, unfortunately. But race director, let's have a look at the incidents. Not a whole lot. You don't get many track limits warnings at China. Looks like Campbell got his first one on the final lap, which we were on board for. So, it is interesting. But those are the penalties, and just the pit stops. Medium, hard. Hard to medium. You've got one hard to hard. Hard med, hard med, hard med. Hard med. But, okay. I'm going to end stream because I nearly just puked. So, thank you for tuning in to AUSF1 today. We'll see you tomorrow for some exhilarating Tier 2 action. And the battle for the lead, I can tell you, will be a lot closer than it was tonight. So, I've been Ashton. Thank you for tuning in. And I will see you tomorrow.